Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Today we are going to talk about a very sensitive topic. It is human trafficking. We'd all like to think it's not something that happens in our community or to people in our neighborhoods, but it is a sad reality.
Joining us now with more on an event to raise awareness and help with prevention is Arnitta Holliman from the Office of Violence Prevention with the City of Milwaukee, and Chandra, the founder of a group called Grateful Girls. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thanks for being here. I think first and foremost, as we kind of talk about the topic of human trafficking, everybody wants to think that that's a huge city problem. That's not a Milwaukee problem. What's the reality for our community?
The reality is that human trafficking is in 72 counties in Wisconsin, and so it's all over. It's in the urban cities, it's also in the suburbs, and so it's something that we need to be able to give our youth and our children and also parents and grandparents information about awareness and prevention.
It's got to shock people. I mean, because is it true that Milwaukee is one of the top 5 sex trafficking hubs in the United States? That's true?
Yes, so it is one of the top cities in the nation for trafficking, also for training pimps and traffickers.
Yeah, I read that we're considered the Harvard of pimp school, which obviously isn't something to be proud of. What is it about Milwaukee or where we're located that makes us this spot so attractive for people who are doing these crimes?
So I think it's partly we're urban city, and so with urban city you have some of the issues that come along with that. High concentrated poverty, unemployment, other issues that are also risk factors.
And we're right on the freeway, right? Isn't that a big deal? I know as well. Let's talk about the event you're having, because this is the 4th year you're having. It's Stay Out the Game.
Yes.
And exactly what is it? What will be going on? Because this is something you've been doing year after year.
Stay Out the Game 101 is an informational and interactive awareness prevention youth summit for youth between the ages of 11 and 17. And so what we want to do is, as a person who's a provider in the community and other organizations, we're always able to go to events that teach us about human trafficking, but we never have the events for the actual victims and youth. And so this event will allow the children and youth and parents to come there and get information about just awareness and prevention. What does it look like? What does it smell like? How do you identify it? So our job at that event is to give the youth all of that information.
How do you identify it? Are there some warning signs or some things that happen that somebody could be clued in that someone is potentially a victim?
There are several warning signs. I mean, if you find a youth coming home with different gifts, food, presents, watch them on the internet, and so those are all different types of warning signs, all indicators that we will be discussing this weekend.
At the event.
One of the things you talked about is the age of girls that you're talking about attending. 11 years old. It just sounds so young. Is that an age that's often targeted for sex trafficking? It seems like there's a sweet spot of girls that you're trying to reach.
What would you say there?
So the average age of girls that are trafficked is 13.
Yeah.
So obviously there are youth that are trafficked that are younger, but the average age is 13. So 11 is a good age for targeting education, prevention, awareness.
People may assume that it happens mostly to teens who are homeless, for example, or for people who come from broken homes where there's maybe neglect or abuse. That's not always the case, though, is it?
No, it's not always the case. Sometimes it's in the nature, in the course of a relationship. And so coercion, if you think about force, fraud, or coercion, someone may be coerced into trading sex or and become trafficked. So there isn't a typical person or look or situation. That's one of the myths that really needs to be dispelled and that Chandra's working on, because there's not a specific person to look and say, this is a person that would be trafficked or this is a person that would become a trafficker.
Yeah. It can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter what your race is or what your class is or what economic family you come from. It can happen to anyone. And so again, this month is January is Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Month, and so that's why we do this event. And so we just want to be able to give everyone that information so they can protect themselves.
That's great. I know you do such great work with Grateful Girls, working with all the girls who are at high risk and those who are victims or survivors as well. It's a part of the entire mission that you have. Yes. So I want to make sure everybody's got the information for this Saturday. The event is going on. It's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Stay Out the Game 101. It's at the Northside YMCA right on North Avenue. You can learn more about Grateful Girls, to donate or get involved at gratefulgirls.org for more. Thanks for sharing that information.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Appreciate
both of you.